Hi guys! Today we're going to learn how to simplify multiplication expressions and also how to do the reverse, expand multiplication expressions. Each one is sort of like the reverse of the other. There's a couple of things you can do to simplify expressions. Here's the first one. Right here we have a multiplication expression. 3 times the variable g. One way we can simplify this, or write it using less symbols, is to remove the dot that means multiplication. When we have a letter and a variable that are being multiplied, often we can just write that as 3g. When you have a letter and a variable written next to each other, that's understood as multiplication. And therefore, this is a simpler way to write this. Going the exact opposite direction, let's say we start with a very simple multiplication expression and we want to expand it. That means turn this back into this, or expand it. So to expand 3g, we simply write 3 times g. This is the act of simplifying, or making smaller. This is the act of making a little bit more complicated, or making larger. Another concept we need to understand in this lesson is something called the commutative property of multiplication. Here's all it says. Whenever you have a bunch of numbers being multiplied together, it's gotta be all multiplication. The order in which they appear doesn't matter. You'll always get the same answer. So, 7 times m times 4, you'll get the same answer to this as you would get if you switched the order of these two numbers. M times 7 times 4. And you'd also get the exact same answer if you switched these two. 4 times 7 times m. And you'd also get the exact same answer if you switched these two again. 4 times m times 7. So this is your second idea. Whenever you have something that's all multiplication, you can write those numbers in any order and get the exact same answer. In other words, all 4 of these are equivalent to each other. And finally, let's put these two skills together to simplify and expand more complicated expressions. Let's take this for example. 8 times m times 4 times n. Remember, to simplify means to write this using as few symbols as possible. The first thing I'm going to do is switch the order of the m and the 4 so that my two numbers are next to each other. I swap these to get 8 times 4 times m times n. Now I can do 8 times 4. That's 32. Times m times n. And finally, I can remove these two symbols and simply write 32 m n. And this is the simplest way to write this. And again, we use the two principles we learned today. The commutative property, switching the order of things, and removing the dots that mean multiplication. Let's go here. What if we wanted to expand? Well, expand means to add in the dots. So I have 35 times a times b. And if I wanted to, I could even break 35 into two factors. 7 times 5. Resulting in a more complicated but expanded expression that's equivalent to 35ab. So there you have it, simplifying and expanding multiplication expressions. Have fun!